I agree Heathcliff should not be white. Hindley should not be cut out. And the whole second half outlining Heathcliff's revenge should not be dropped. But most adaptations do just that, and Heathcliff, at least as played by Laurence Olivier and Ray Fiennes, are as pure as the driven snow. Adaptations are their own animal, it can be argued, and should be free to change things. What I do find unacceptable is the softening of the main characters. Emily Bronte's Catherine, to put it bluntly, is a bitch. Emily's Heathcliff is a son of a bitch. Their relationship has a strong whiff of incest about it. I even object to Fennel turning Nellie, played by Hong Chow, into a villain. Shifting the blame on Nellie the way Fennel does takes all the blame off of Heath and Kath. Lessens the tragedy of the relationship, not to mention giving us yet another enigmatic, sinister Oriental to hiss at. As for the sex, two ways to think about it. Either they've been fucking every chance they get, under a bed, in a barn, round the corner, behind a door, or they haven't. Funny effect of 19th century Gothic novels, you never see sex mentioned, but it seeps between every line like blood through a linen shirt. And if you have a particularly overactive imagination, I like to think I give mind the occasional workout, you'll conjure all kinds of scenarios. If they haven't been fucking, why, that's even hotter. Two lovers aching for each other who haven't even made out, much less done heavy petting. Can you imagine the epic edging involved, the blueness of Heathcliff's balls? Emily, I submit, was actually trying to describe a more than merely physical connection. Heathcliff and Catherine spending hours with each other as youths, presumably the way Emily and his sisters Charlotte and Anne spent hours with Brother Branwell, creating kingdoms, entire worlds of their own. A melding of kindred souls is what I think they call it. So when Fennel offers all those vigorously staged and shot on screen sex scenes as her substitution for a lifetime's worth, my lifetime's worth of wild windswept fantasies, well, let's just say her on screen fantasies tend to fall a little flat. That's my problem with Fennel's version. Are there better out there? I can cite three. Luis Buñuel's Abismo de Pasión, 1954, shifts the setting from Yorkshire to Mexico and takes a chainsaw to the novel, lopping off the childhoods. The film starts when Heathcliff comes back as a grown man and rich. Working on a shoestring budget, he tells the story with heroic simplicity as only a true pervert can. Think David Lynch telling the straight story, or Pier Paolo Pasolini giving us the gospel according to Matthew. The emotions simmer under a parchment of respectability. The wind howls past twisted leafless trees in the high chaparral. Buñuel is all about smolder and atmosphere, and his Heathcliff, here named Alejandro, has a killer glare that burns holes in the screen. It has a climax played to the strains of Wagner's Liebestod, so down and dirty and abrupt and glorious, it leaves you just a little breathless. If you want the book, the whole book, and nothing but, try Yoshishige Yoshida's Arashi ga Oka, 1988, set on the windswept slopes of a volcano instead of a Yorkshire moor, telling the entire 400-page story across three generations in a relatively compact 140 minutes. Yoshida's version is inspired by no acting, is contemplative in tone, is not afraid to take its time despite the massive amount of story involved, accumulating detail till Yoshida's version of Emily's elaborate narrative unrolls in all its ungainly glory. I talk about less being more on screen when it comes to sex. I lied. Yoshida stages a scene where Kinu coils around Inamaru like a serpent, and you can't help but think, Mrs. Fennel should watch this and take notes. And for all its faithfulness, the film is hardly stuffy. Onimaru is a brute. His quest to possess Kinu involving everything from blood spurting violence to grave digging to suggestions of necrophilia and worse. No ghosts, Yoshi doesn't go for anything so cheap. The film definitely gives you the feeling that the murdered do haunt their murderers. Helps that my personal favorite also happens to be a great comedy. Preston Sturges' The Palm Beach Story. Okay, hear me out. Jerry runs from her penniless husband lover, Tom, to marry multimillionaire John D. Hackensacker III to raise the money Tom needs for his invention. Tom shows up at Hackensacker's mansion to stop the wedding, and Jerry passes him off as her brother, Captain McGlue. Meantime, McGlue catches the eye of Hackensacker's sister, Princess Centimiglia, aka Maud, who is eyeing him to be her fourth husband. Jerry's Catherine, Tom is Heathcliff, John D. Hackensacker is George Lipton, Isabella is Maud. This is basically Wuthering Heights with palm trees. And Tom is a wonderful Heathcliff. He's tall, hulking, and he glowers at everyone, threatening to punch them if they even as much as look at his wife. Uh, Jerry is a wonderful Catherine with her whoomy eyes and her adulterously pursed lips. Both of them make a fine pair, as at home on the Yorkshire moors as they would be in the docks of Palm Beach. The film ends abruptly with an unlikely, too convenient twist. Too convenient, that is, unless you remember the zany chase that opens the picture, with characters conveniently forgotten till the plot suddenly drags them in, and a final shot that suggests a never ending circular chase that only pauses for the end credits. And suddenly you're reminded that Emily Bronte's brooding novel is full of souls seeking and lusting after each other, their forebears and siblings and descendants caught in their wake in a never ending circular chase of desire and destruction. A literary, in this case, cinematic vision of the second circle of hell. Am I nuts? Maybe, but so's the book. And so, in my book, is this film.